Hello, 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 beautiful beings. How you doing? Ooh, hello. Rosanna Hannes here, channeling Rosy Glow with a little message to prepare us for this upcoming full moon, which is in Cancer on Monday. I really just want to invite you to sit with me for a moment and take a few breaths, because life is moving very quickly at the moment and we are in an ascension process, as we know. And so our opportunity is to recognise that we are constantly masters in some areas and apprentices in others. And we had the new moon in Capricorn, and that new moon was all about seeding the divine matrix and activating the divine matrix codes in all of us, which are really the codes of love that we can access. And this is allowing us to unplug from the matrix of fear, which has been reigning supreme in our collective and personal consciousness for so long that we think it's the only way, but it isn't. So we are constantly on a bridge from 3D to 5D. We move through the realm of the mind, which is 4D. And it takes time, my friends. I know that we want to wave a magic wand and go, it's all just going away right now and everything's just suddenly magically better. And it can be, and it does happen in quantum leaps. But there are always going to be parts of us that need to be brought into the light and given the love, the recognition, the appreciation, the attention that they deserve. This is how we move shadow elements that we ignore, that we prefer not to own, into the light, and we become that unity consciousness that is the divine matrix, because we are all one. We are all in the ocean of love, and we are individual droplets in that ocean, unique expressions of the divine. Learning, remembering that we are the divine, because we forget when we get here, right? It's part of the deal of remembering. And I truly believe that those of us who are plugged into starseed consciousness, those of us who are awakening, are truly intending to walk this earth as ascended masters in training. So remember, with the new moon we plant seeds, and with the full moon we then clear up the resistance that's come up. We bring the shadow to light around that seed that we have planted. And if you don't yet know, I do offer the New Moon Co-Creation Meditations over on my YouTube channel once a month. You can always check out on my website and my socials when they're coming up. And then what I do is I offer those of you who want to do the deeper work, the energy upgrade and the soul healing that comes with the full moon, to join my inner circle for a small fee, which is my Rosy Glow community. And as a result of that, to take part in the full moon energy upgrades and soul healing. So if you are interested in that, then just keep an eye out on the links that will be available through Instagram, through Rosy Glow, Facebook, and also my website, rosyglow.com. Please do join if you haven't yet, because we are a thriving community of souls that are awakening, seeking to align truly with the highest good of all and the win-win-win in everything. Welcome those who are joining. So as I invite you to take some breaths and to create some space between the in-breath and the out-breath and the in-breath, remembering that in order to be able to give, we also need to receive, I invite you just to relax your mind, drop into your heart, and even put a hand on your heart and just let yourself feel all that is here right now and welcome it all. Like, if we are unconditionally receiving our highest good, then everything that is occurring in our day, in our moment, is there to help us to align more with what is most auspicious, most benevolent. And I've been putting quite a few posts over on my Rosanna Hannes Facebook page about grace, about what grace means and what it means to me, and why I say when I am Rosy Glow, when I'm channeling Rosy Glow, I am channeling divine grace, which is the power of revelation. So here's the revelationary moment that we're exploring. If we are feeling out of control, does that mean that we are powerless? I've been talking a lot about putting your soul in control. And what that means is really to make the journey from the head to the heart, or from the mind, the thinking, the constant turnings of the mind, into the feeling state that we want to embody, we want to actualize, we want to radiate out into our lives, and then magnetize to us the opportunities that are in resonance with that vibration. We're here to seek out experiences. We're here to perfect our capacity to have an intention and then to surrender that intention to the highest good of all. knowing that things may well not work out the way we expect them to. We're not trying to control every element, but just opening up to the fact that things will work out better than we expect. So I say this because we will, from a 3D perspective, feel powerless if we feel we're out of control, because typically in the 3D matrix, we control things in order to feel safe. When we're moving through our stages of awakening and starting to question what we already know and what we've been taught to believe around the world, about the world and ourselves, that we have taken on as beliefs that we think are ours until we question them, we come into a place where we get the mind involved, and we need the mind in many ways to access the heart, because we do need to move beyond the questioning, right? We move from a state of just complying, of just being in the space of this is the way it is and I don't question it, to is this the only way it is? And then we get bombarded with like all these other possibilities of how things could be. And what we recognise is that we are ultimately choosing our experience according to our perception. And if we are not enjoying our experience, we change our perception. And through changing that perception, we end up having different experiences. So this is the invitation of this full moon in Cancer. You know, Cancer's happy in the moon, or the moon is happy in Cancer, I should say. And I would really welcome you to check out foreverconscious.com. It's really, really a great take both on the new moons and full moons that Yasmin offers, and I invite you to check her out because she goes into detail about that. For me, I'm not an astrologer, but I really do use the new moon and the full moon as my anchor points for the seeds that I'm planting, and then what subconscious resistance is coming up for that or to that. And what I've noticed for this moon is that we are moving into a place where if we are really truly aligning with, you know, committing to our growth, that I am deeply committed to my growth, I am choosing to plug in to the divine matrix, then every month we'll be given a part of us that isn't fully invested in the divine matrix, that is still in the F.E.A.R paradigm, in the 3D paradigm, to contemplate and then evolve. Give me one sec. So this is a journey, and if we allow ourselves to embrace that journey, and we're not expecting to create conditions as co-creators where it's, you know, perfect sky, fair weather sailing every day, we're in control of everything, we can start to embrace the unexpected. We can start to embrace the uncomfortable. Instead of pushing away from it, we learn to lean into it and to discover what else we can learn about ourselves that perhaps we weren't aware of, perhaps it's a blind spot, and in so doing, we can move into a space of claiming that part of us as well. Because we project what we don't accept, and we're learning that we're always growing. And this is the journey from the moment we take our first breath to the moment that we take our last. And then we continue into another dimension to continue our consciousness journey and reunification journey. My specialist area is really understanding the impact of the conditions of our conception, and also the hormonal soup we grew around, or grew in, I should say, when we were in the womb. And then the conditions of our birth and the formative years, the first few years of our life, and how they shape our expectation of how safe the world is or how threatening the world is. So if you're anything like me, you know, your early conditioning has made you feel that the world is threatening, there's not enough, we have to fight for what we want, we have to work hard. And undoing all of that conditioning is the journey of us claiming our soul truth. So when I say put your soul in control, that allows us to let go of needing to control everything in order to feel safe. And we can find our power in the not knowing. We can find our power in meeting the challenges, meeting the resistance. So we've got Pluto and we've got Neptune playing out in this dynamic with this full moon. And issues of feeling powerless are coming up, have been coming up. Issues of feeling suffocated have been coming up. And this is, again, an invitation to make choices and changes in our life, to see where we're giving our power away, that we can actually take it back. And this means owning how you really feel rather than how you think you should feel. And being open to having parts of you revealed to you that will just allow you to be more self-accepting. So there's a few I am statements that have come up for this full moon that we will be embedding and integrating into our consciousness and clearing resistance. A few of them are, I am choosing to be sovereign. I am letting go of feeling powerless. I am letting go of what no longer serves my highest good. And I'm saying what most no longer serves my highest good. Because again, there's this part of us that wants to do it all in one go. And that's just not this journey of life. It's happening incrementally. But the more we expand into our divine matrix codes, the easier it is to witness with love, with compassion, with humour, the F.E.A.R codes when they come up, and just to bring love to them. Remembering that fear can stand for face everything and recover, false emotion, expectation, false emotion and expectation appearing real. So we're constantly adjusting the lens that we see through. And when we see through divine eyes, we see the world through loving eyes, and we love what we see. We're welcoming everything that comes up and discovering how we feel about it. When there is discomfort, when there is a sense that this isn't right, this isn't the way it should be, okay, well, what can come from this? What could be better than this? Rather than trying to shut everything else down so things work your own way. There's something really beautiful about embracing, trusting yourself and being open to stepping into the unknown, allowing yourself to, we say mistakes, but allowing yourself to make whatever you feel is a sort of step away from the aim you intended, and to come back onto the road that you want to be. So I see this beautiful golden path available to all of us when we open up to the divine matrix codes. And when we allow ourselves to put our soul in control, we're really saying, I am trusting this process of me growing into a greater version of myself, into an ascended master in training, into learning how to let love win in every situation where I would normally contract and try and force things to be a certain way in order for me to feel safe. Now, there is a caveat to this, and that is, if no one's really ever spoken up for you, then very often you will suppress your truth as well, because you've learned to be able to say what others expect. If you've never been heard, you'll find a way, we all do, to try and say the right things so that we are accepted. But there's a huge element of self-love, which is accepting yourself and accepting your truth, whatever that may be, whether it's comfortable or not, and actually speaking up for the part of you that usually doesn't get heard. And this is what allows us to move out of a lack state into a state where we are embracing the fact that anything we could ever want is always available to us. Now, we have had a lot of shifts in the collective consciousness that I'm celebrating, and I've been feeling since last Wednesday hugely excited. Now yesterday I've been sort of noticing other sensations coming in, but I've been so excited for what is happening because I've been seeing that as we lighten our own vibration, as we meet our shadow, our darkness, our unloved parts with compassion, with acceptance, we start to see that all those bits that are suppressed, censored, hidden in the collective are coming to truth. They're coming to light. We've had some beautiful expressions of the divine masculine showing up and going, not sure about that. And whether we're talking about our wonderful tennis champion in Australia, or whether we're actually talking about the doctor that dared to speak up to the mayor in London and say, hold on a minute, mate, is this really the best way forward? We've got some real love to send out there to the masculine in their sovereignty, speaking up and saying, this doesn't add up. And we're starting to see headlines in the papers, in the mainstream news, that are questioning the narrative that we have been given the last 2 years that has put so many people into abject terror and fear and compliance. But here's the thing, we have to be shaken out of our, complacency, so we can actually see where we're heading if we don't take action. And many folk, it appears, don't really want to claim their sovereignty. And it's not for everybody to do that at this stage. It's for those of us who feel the calling to do so, that are then inviting others to do it when they are ready, when they're ready to move out of their suffering, when they're ready to know there is another way other than to just learn the hard way. So I'm really excited about this full moon energy. And I do just want to bring a couple of other things in as well. So if you're finding that there are power struggles that are coming up, what I invite everybody to contemplate is the fact that we have to accept as part of our growth that we have been lied to and we have lied to ourselves. And part of that lying to ourselves thing is that we've taken the lie and we've perpetuated the lie and we've promoted the lie. Now, what is a lie? Well, it's not absolute truth, right? It is basically something that isn't aligned with the absolute truth, with what is true. But that's so huge for so many of us to actually contemplate. So it's more helpful to imagine or to accept that there is third dimensional truth, there's fourth dimensional truth, there's fifth dimensional truth, and there's truth beyond that as well. But what I'm really getting at here is we've been fed a perspective that we've all bought into for a very long time. And in our mainstream entertainment industry and the media, this has been perpetuated, whether it's by conscious control or whether it's been in the subconscious of the collective, the performers, the actors, actresses, singers, the screenwriters, the producers, etc. There's a bias that's based on our conditioning. My passion is really all around inviting people to raise their vibration so that they can co-create from the highest vibration possible. And so with each of these full moons, we get an opportunity to raise our vibration. We set intention with new moon and we raise the vibration with the full moon. So the invitation for you is to contemplate, okay, where do you feel lied to? Where do you feel you've been lying to yourself? And how can you embrace the idea that you don't need to be controlling everything in order to feel safe? You can speak your truth. You can say what you want, what your intention is. And you can invite those of higher vibration to help you align with the way that you can start to receive what you're intending, which is really the feeling vibration, okay? If you have something you want to create in your life, you want to experience in your life, it's bringing forward that feeling vibration of already having it, giving thanks for it as though it has already manifested in your life. What is it you want to feel? Is it peace? Is it fulfillment? Is it excitement? Is it success, whatever that means to you? It's through our exploration that we access through the mind, that we can feel through connecting to what our mind wants, that we can actually start to radiate the frequencies that we draw to us. So, if this is something that you enjoy as a concept, remember you can join me on Sunday. It's going to be at 5 o'clock UK time, GMT, which will be 12 noon EST and 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can join me for what will be a setting of intention, which is really that I am letting go of what I most need to release from the fear matrix now, so I can embrace the codes that are going to allow me to shift to the next level with the new moon and to bring in the higher frequencies that I desire. And really, this is that access of I am putting my soul in control. I'm starting to get excited about the adventure rather than trepidation of what's actually coming, what is going to be happening, that I'm scared and I have to prepare myself for, and there's some boogeyman somewhere. That has been our experience in the 3D. And in the 4D, we've really been getting lost in different narratives and who's telling the truth. In 5D, we choose to be conscious co-creators of our reality. We choose to set our intention. We choose to align with the highest good of all and the win-win-win. So whatever intention we have, part of the journey of co-creating is to let it go and to ask for that or something better. And this is this invitation of this full moon. It is to open to bringing light and love to where we've been buying into narratives, into stories that have been limiting our capacity to grow, to let that go and to open up more to I am deeply committed to my growth. I am celebrating my success. I'm looking at everything that has shifted in my life and building on that, rather than opening Pandora's box, feeling like I've still got so much to learn. Oh, I'm so useless. Oh, I'm never going to get there. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And undoing all of the good work that you've actually done. So that's the invitation. Do check it out. As I said, I'll be putting the links. You'll see them on Instagram. You'll see them on Rosie Glow Facebook and on the Rosie Glow website. So if you haven't joined rosieglow.com, please do. The invitation there is that you get the free Star Salutation Prosperity legacy upgrade, divine legacy upgrade, which allows you again to clear more resistance to having everything that you want, that you desire. And for those of you that are the creatives in this world that are putting out art, this is a wonderful time. The Neptunian energy that is coming through is allowing us to align more with being visible to those that we are here to align with and serve. And if we are able to clear that early programming, if you like, that keeps us limited, that keeps us aligning with a baseline frequency that doesn't serve our growth, once we clear that, we become so much more able to download the inspiration that allows us to show up, to take the opportunities. That means that our art, what we put out in the world, is transmitted at a higher frequency. It's time to start to tell the new narratives that we want to seed in the collective consciousness of humanity. That's what my Star Peace movement is all about. It's like, well, what do we want to make real for the collective? What do we want to see happen? Do we want to live in a world of sovereignty? Okay, well, those of us who are ready, let's create that. Let's recognize it's in us already. We can align with it. We can clear our own personal resistance to it. We can live it. We can tell stories about it. We can inspire this change in others and invite the next wave of those who are ready to meet us at that level. So much is happening in the subconscious, okay? Conscious mind is very important, but so much is happening in what we're just absorbing without even realizing. So pay attention to what you are tuned into. And remember again that you don't have to be powerless if you feel out of control. You can put your soul in control and allow that part of you to lead you, trusting that everything that comes up, whether you think it's pleasant or not, is there just to help you align even more fully with what you truly desire. That's my download for you today through Rosie Glow. I wish you a lot of love, and if you would like to know more about working with your mind so that your mind can work for you rather than against you, look at some of the links below around liberation from limitation, because that's a wonderful starting point for those of you who are ready to start to allow your soul to take control and to get excited about that. Loads of love. Take care, everyone.